します。 しおる予定。息をどうぞ。OK。OK。 that's a topic what occurs again and again. I'm sure, I was just asking myself, maybe that was like 4 or 5 weeks ago that we did exactly Ushiryo entrance or form in the Friday basic class YouTube show. Didn't we? I think so. It always comes up at some point when I ask myself, like, what could we practice? And then start something like technical, difficult, right? Now, how to say, Claudio, now, think about, first of all, what could be a reason for the opponent as an attacker comes into my back? Okay, if we would say we practice a form, just formal way of Ushiryo Todori, we actually could start from this position. So that we just recognize how does it feel when the partner stands behind me and takes control over my body by his double hand grasp. Now, in this specific situation, we would then practice while we are not able to watch what's going on now, to influence the partner's position and creating kuzushi. Okay? This could be a beginner's, let's say, exercise, to just be in this situation. My both hands are behind my back. Claudio's taking control. I have to adjust to that and make him come in front of me. Okay. That would be the basic routine or technique in our understanding for Ushiryo Todori. There's, I say that often, there's different understandings in different kind of styles or, let's say, schools or ideas. For instance, this situation where my hands are behind my back is typically Endo Sensei's advice or style, because he says it has to be like that and not somewhere here. My first, and I'm sure your first learning of Ushiryo Todori was completely different from the entrance and from the position. It would have never occurred that we have our hands behind the back. So, but now we have it. The question is there a proper foundation or basic behind that situation? Why it comes to this situation? So this is what I try to explain first. Now, if you want to attack, why could it occur that the partner ends up behind my back? What do you think? Or if I would attack, how or why would I come into his back, behind his back?
Because he puts up something I need to do, because I need to react to his offer.
Okay, yeah, so now I ask more simple. Do you know any form or skill by yourself, if you practice Aikido, where you go into the back of the partner? Do you know any movement? Doesn't matter if it is from Uke or from Tori side, maybe I ask now from Tori side, where you would apply the understanding to enter behind the back of the partner? Ura. Ura could be, but it's maybe different positioning, but Ura could be something else? Irimi. Yes. So for instance, if we do Shomen Uchi, and I go behind your back, I actually do what now is Uke's idea. So if you would come straight forward, and I'm not able to hold or withstand that and try to avoid the meeting, it could happen that he comes into my back easily. So when that happens, because he comes straight forward to me, I should be able to adjust or manipulate my way out so that he is not completely free behind me. But somehow in my, let's say, conduction or leadership. So if you would break into my back without me doing or referring anything, of course, I would not know how it turns out. I cannot watch there, and he's got the freedom to either grasp my shoulders or choke my neck or take my pants down or whatever. I'm joking. This is not specific for kids. Sorry. Now, if I would face this situation, I would rather make him grasping my hand instead of not knowing where you go. Could you please come from this direction? So I go away, but I make him grasp the second hand. So it's two important things. So the timing of leaving the line of your attack is the first, and then how to turn or how to offer a second point to grasp, because you have two hands activity. Okay? And the timing is not only the place, when I go, but also where I go. So it's the Ma-I conception. I need to keep distance to him so that if he comes behind my back and wants to reach out to grasp, that he cannot get anything else but my hand. So if I would step like this, he could be really close in. And there's a great form in judo, very well known as Ushiro Goshi. It's one of the basic standards. If you come into the partner's back, you actually easily lift the center up and make him fall. So this could be a great attack from him. But if you want to come in close, you can actually lift me up easily by your center. But if you try that while I'm keeping distance, you cannot get there. That's the reason why we end up in this situation where both hands are behind our back and not somewhere close or even in front. What every one of us, I'm not sure, but every one of us, every generation Aikido guy learned that in the beginning. Beginning was like this. It makes Uke, first of all, very uncomfortable, and I'm asking him to grasp, and it looks a little bit stupid that he tried to take my hand, because why shouldn't he take my whole body up instead? Okay, that's the explanation or the idea why the hands are behind the back. On the other hand, it's a good practice, as I already said, because having both hands behind and not being able to see or watch what's going on makes us even challenge more our skills to feel and sense the partner and feel our body. So the routine, therefore, is we step out of the line and away from the partner when he grasps. We don't go any circular form like we started earlier, where we were walking like in a half circle. We just go away. And by his attempt to grasp and coming after me, he's actually bringing me into a position where we end up. But don't practice by the lines of the tatami or by the angles of the room, so that you always go on the parallel lines or whatever. Just find out where it drives you to if you're in this situation. And one more important thing, again, is Uke, for my terms, should never try to come around in circle behind my back, but just tries to break in my position straight. So if you would try to come behind my back running in circles, and I see that, I actually would have a very easy life to make him impossible to come to my back. Try. Yeah, it's almost impossible. But if you go straight into the line, and maybe I face too much energy coming from the front, that's why I need to step out. And therefore, I reach out my second hand. Therefore, he grasps. Okay, now, shrinking down to the very short movement, it's just this. Okay? So start with that again, and make sure you attempt to get behind the back of Tori is clear. Because if that's not clear or not sharp, it feels somehow strange to go behind. Okay? Hey. Gibt's noch mehr? Das waren 4. Ja. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go one step further in explanation for what happens. What's happening between uke and tori. Now, I want to discuss another thing. The last time we practiced the ushiro was, I think we already spoke about that as well, but it's an important thing, I think. Now, if we are talking about this intensity change, like already explained, because uke wants to really break into the position of tori, and by that there comes more energy. Usually we tend to stiffen our arms, and then it feels like rough or harsh or a little bit like stiff. Now, I would recommend not to put more intensity to your shoulders or arms, but to your center and leg work. So if I attack, my arms actually can be soft, but I really want to get into the position by my center. Maybe you felt my connection or my arms were touching softly, But you could not keep your position, and I was actually coming after you, and my center was there. Now, instead of, I can again, doing a lot of push by the arm, what creates then a feeling of, oh, I have to hold against it, within the arms of Tori usually, it would be like center comes up, but arms are still free or soft. Now, why should I have soft arms instead of strong? I remember sometimes when I was studying, or we were studying, we ended up in the situation, especially as Tori, that Uke comes and locks with a lot of power the arms, holds like kind of like this, down or strong, with a lot of, like force. But this is not functional. Because if we would use this kind of power or force as Uke, we would actually contradict the training of Tori. We are trying to learn how not to use physical force when we are Tori, but when we are Uke, we're putting like everything in. It's like 50% of the time in the training, we're training the opposite side of what we want to learn. I would recommend that if I attack, if you come here, you're not putting force to your hands and arms, but to your center and your leg work, and your arms are soft, because then you can use the same principles as Uke to off-balance Tori. If Tori would be, not aware or too late or stiff, and you come and know how to manipulate his position, of course, it's much easier to take your balance instead of if I'm trying to be stiff and strong and then react on that. So usually our basic understanding, our basic routine is like, I don't push you down, I don't pull, I just use my leg work in my center and soft arms, because we know we put the partner on the limits of his stance, and that's why his structure collapses. Could be also by extending to the back, but it's not that I push him, because actually then I lose my balance and he can take that easily. Or I pull where he comes in and adopt that very easy. No, we are relaxing. Now, for both of us, it's the same here. It's because I relax my arms, but I put my center in connection behind. That's why we can manipulate Tori, easily, with the same understanding of how to use the body. And we, 100% of the time while we're practicing the same principles. Now, again, of course, that's always, it seems to be strange. If we rise intensity by the awareness of how to attack sharp or more intense, we used to also rise the tension in our arms. But now, just rise tension in your center and your leg work so that your arms, if I attack, stay soft, but you're right in and connected to the partner. Okay? My arms here are not putting anything like strange or force into the hands or grasp. I keep connection, but basically my hands are very soft. What doesn't mean that I'm not strong. Actually, I'm very strong in the center. And to the direction where he has no support, I could easily and immediately take his balance. One more thing. This is always a potential. It is not to do every time. I don't need to do every time as Uke something towards your positioning. But I have to observe, how is my arms, how is my center, how is my leg work? Can I connect on a soft way to your body, what you're trying to do too, on the soft way connecting to my body, and using my center and my leg work to influence your balance. It's not that I have to do it right now, but I have to set up the situation so that I could immediately use this function. Now, you would feel this then. I'm giving like soft uke. I'm not hard at all. And I follow you. And it's nowhere stressed by my hands or arms. But if you would have a break or make a mistake using force or using stiff arms, I would be immediately there. Without any latency, never being late. Can you see what I mean? That changes the quality of uke and tori relation, I think profoundly, because it never feels somehow stiff or strong or stressful, even though the potential for an immediately upcoming effect of kuzushi from both sides, uke as well as tori, is always there. Try. Okay. Okay, you're trying to defend. That's good. Look, if you are not closing this line, but keeping this line open, this hand can come. So now you were refusing the attack because you wanted to go away. But if you close this line, I cannot come. Yeah, it's the same principle like aikido from the side. Just rotate in your shoulder. If you keep it like this, it's open. And then the quality of how to keep the art is to put yourself in the right spot to the right time without getting stiff.
Okay.
So if there was a soft arm, I could come in because the distance was not enough. It was too close. And then, because of the reaction, it's like, oh, he breaks in. You put your arm stiff, and it doesn't change because this way was open. It's distance and timing and the whole body structure put into the place where I cannot reach out to your neck, but you keep me on distance without using force against it. This was force. And that's why, you see, you were pushing against me. That's why I could take this push to make you off balance. If I like this, you come to me, it was like, if you feel this answer, you can let me go there. No, just take my push.
Okay.
If I protect myself, yes, you can take. Because I'm still pushing you away. So find how to get out of that line with a soft arm but controlled and close by rotating using all your body functions in the shoulder. Okay, better. Now keep your arm soft, but your center and your leg working. Yes, okay. You see? There's many details what have to be, let's say, observed and we should be aware about. Because if we are not getting that, it is an easy opportunity for me to break into your position, and then you will never come into, or I will never go behind back because I'm already in Iribinaga entrance and controlling your neck from front or from side. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So, attack, this, stop, this. Now, where you have to go, in which moment, by using all your abilities to turn and protect yourself and keep soft connection. That's the question. So this was turning too much. So that's why I could get behind you. And you were turning yourself too much, but not to the right place. Not in the distance correctly. Don't turn too, no. Now you're pushing. If you push like this, your arm goes out there. Now you're just refusing going away. No. Don't go away like this. Step out with the front foot out the line. No, this is your backside. This foot goes out. Yes. But now your arm was rigid. Turn around and use this moment. Okay, I wasn't able to catch you up there. Now in the end, don't be rigid. Just, yeah, exactly. Lower the center, calm down. No turn in elbow. Just take down, I come to your face. Don't push. Don't push again. Turn. Take the front foot out. Turn. Yes, okay. Now, stay there. No, don't push down. Bring down your center. Okay, your arms can be free then. Yes, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a great question how to create the quality of using this kind of arm without any stress, but workful. Go ahead.
festgehalten hätte.
Machen wir nochmal.
Okay. Hi. This always reminds me of our Spanish friends, because it feels like dancing flamenco or something like that. Or tango could be also. But usually in tango or flamenco, you never put the partner out of balance to the ground. That's the only difference. But can you see? Okay, first I'll ask. It's a rhetorical question for the YouTube community. Please answer in the comments. I check that later. By what I'm taking Uke's balance? You have an answer? Okay. I make a mistake. Okay, arms. Doesn't work. But center. Of course, yeah, my arms are reorganized or replaced in space by my center or leg work. But it's not throwing by arms without any movement in the legs. So, hey, try this one. Hi, okay. So, students who are also training with Kuribayashi sensei from Honbu Dojo will know this explanation already. Maybe I have taken this out already. If I look to this jaw stuff, of course, if I want to tilt it, I could work from top. Correct. But everybody of you knows already you could also work from the bottom. So in this form, actually, you could use this understanding because it's both possible to influence the partner. If we come to this position, it could be on the upper level as well as it could be to the lower level so that his knee is bent. Before it was the upper body what went out of the balance or out of upright position. The second time it was the knees. Now, more details. Sometimes you may feel from here that you make the partner move until the final collapse. Maybe sometimes you could change and make yourself move to the position. Or everything between these two equators. So I move, but I move him too. All right? So just think about where to put and how to engage the kuzushi on which level. Sigh. Okay? Try a little bit more. Thank you. Okay, one last advice. One more time, please. Now, getting back to the very beginning of the class, or maybe not the very beginning, but in the beginning, we have already shown that in this kind of practice or understanding, we don't push, pull, or bring somehow strength to our upper body to make the partner move. Because this movement is very limited, as you can see. Maybe it shakes all the body, but he keeps his center or his balance. Now, but if I bend my knees plus extend center, or expand center, plus know that in this particular situation, the limits of support to his stance are to those two directions very easy to find, while to this direction he's very stable, sideways but front or behind him, it's very simple for me to find this limit. Now, how is the feeling for your upper arm body movement in this particular specific last form? Could you hold the same kind of quality? Because sometimes I felt like some more influence by here or there instead of relaxing and just using center to the direction where he cannot support himself. His position of the 2 feet were like this. So all the direction of my influence should be to the cross direction, not front and back from Uke. Because then, it doesn't matter if even if he's got a very good position here, very stable. Of course, I know he will collapse sooner or later. I didn't do anything beside using my legs and the distance position. Sure, if you're in the flow motion, you may need the good timing because you don't slow down to observe. So you have to feel the right moment to do that. But this goes along with observing how your upper body and how your leg work and how your center is. So if something is like this position, it's not like so. If you feel something like this position, it's not like this. And that should be a signal to recognize, oh, I'm using some different form idea or mechanics. Maybe it works, but you should know where it comes from. Is it a conscious decision to take a different kind of approach, or is it because of it falls out of awareness? Just observe while doing this complicated long form. How is your body? How do you feel? And what do you use to give the partner final position? Okay, 1 more minute. Change partner.
Geh mal tiefer, dann kann sie auch dranbleiben. Weil wenn der Kontakt reißt, weißt du nicht, was sie macht.
So einfach. Hi. Okay. 終わります。ありがとうございました。